Alright, what's up guys? So as per my last video, you could tell that I'm an expert at going to Vegas, and there are actually some tips I wanted to pass to you guys so that you guys could save some money and some time as well. Make sure that you guys have a good time throughout your trip. So I'm going to go ahead and get into all the Las Vegas tips that I have for you in order to save you money, time, or to just make things more enjoyable. Let's get into it. Tip number one, definitely use a promoter. So for every major nightclub, there is going to be a cover fee, and that's because generally an EDM DJ or a hip hop artist is going to be performing that night. So at the door, there's generally a cover charge that could be anywhere from 40 to 100 bucks I've seen. So in order to bypass that, you could use a promoter who is going to get you on a guest list, and as long as you get there by the time that they specify, you'll be able to get in there for free. And this works for both guys and girls. Doesn't really matter how many guys or girls are in the group. So where would you find a promoter, you're probably asking? So you could find them in high traffic areas such as outside of casinos or right on the walkway of the strip, but they'll typically reach out to you and they'll probably hand you a flyer or the contact information. So once you get their contact info, just go ahead and reach out to them and they'll go ahead and talk to you about getting you on the guest list. But it's typically as easy as telling them how many people you have and what nightclub you'd like to go to. And if you can't seem to find any on the strip, you could actually find some of them on TikTok or Instagram nowadays. They're using that to broaden their outreach, and if you just do some research, you'll go ahead and find one. But just remember, you shouldn't have to pay to use a promoter. If any promoter is doing that, they're definitely just trying to skeeze you because they'll get paid if you show up to the club under your guest list name. So if anyone's trying to do that, go ahead and find another promoter. There are plenty out there. To navigate what the moves are and what's happening on the strip, I would definitely recommend downloading the app Discotech. So this app basically lines up all of the big events that are happening on the strip and which nightclubs it's going to. So it'll indicate what's happening per each day, who's performing where, and just generally has a lot of information on the nightlife. It also will provide you with discounted tickets and information to contact for bottle service if you need it. So if you didn't want to use a promoter, or if you didn't want to show up by the time of the guest list, you could go ahead and use it. You'll save some money, but it also is just a great way to kind of understand what's happening so that you could plan out how your trip's going to go and where you're going to go per each day. So dress code, we got to talk about it because every major club will have some variation of dress code, but for the most part, they all agree that you need to have some sort of collared shirt, some sort of pants without rips or holes in them, and some sort of shoes that aren't sneakers. You'll see some people kind of go in and break these rules, but I prefer to kind of stay on the safe side and I don't want to have to deal with any of that drama at the end of the night. So just bring that set of clothes, wear it, and I mean, who doesn't want to rage wearing like a suit or something, you know? Makes you feel good. You dress well, ladies love it, everyone wins here. So for you gamblers out there, I would highly recommend getting an M Life card, which is a free card that you'll basically just accumulate rewards from gambling, which you're gonna do anyways, and it's completely free. So I was actually able to get 3 nights free, and they actually gave me some more free stays in their casinos, and you could actually choose which one. It will generally be like 2 nights in the Bellagio, 3 nights in the Luxor, the Excalibur, etc. So definitely when you go into a casino, if you plan on it, go ahead and go and look for a kiosk that indicates that you'll sign up for an M Life card. And once you get your rewards card, then go ahead and whenever you gamble, whenever you put your money, your ID down, you also will just put your card down, and whoever's running the table is going to scan that, and you'll start accumulating rewards. And you'll get an email if you get some sort of free rooms, like me. So another tip for you gamblers is that table minimums will rise after a certain point. And typically these will be cheaper in the mornings, and at some points it will change to a higher amount throughout the day. So if you're looking to play with just the minimum bet, then I would recommend getting there in the morning and even if they raise the table minimum, usually as a courtesy, they'll actually keep the table minimum for anyone who was there during the transition. So if you came there, the minimum table bet was $10. They'll keep it as $10 for you, but it might be $20 for everyone else. So transportation. So typically, if you're planning to stay on the strip, you actually don't really need a car. Everything's fairly walkable. But the biggest thing is the Vegas monorail if you're trying to make it within a 3-mile distance. So the Vegas monorail is basically their train system that runs basically all down the strip. So if you're trying to get to a club or anything further down and you don't want to pay for that Uber, I would definitely recommend using the Vegas monorail instead. The monorail is pretty quick and efficient. It's only $5 for one way or $13 for two ways. It runs all the way to 2 a.m. on weekdays and 3 a.m. on the weekends. So it'll typically give you enough time to get out of the club and get on it before it shuts down. And it's really useful for getting to those far out clubs where either A, you're not drunk enough to enjoy the walk there, or B, you want to get home ASAP and crash in your bed. So just take note, Vegas monorail, really efficient. It's actually pretty clean too. So definitely check it out when you're there. Open container law. So on the Las Vegas Strip, it's actually legal to walk around with an open container of alcohol, with the exception of glass. There are little nuances of it, so you can't blame me if you get arrested and you didn't follow that. But just in a general rule of thumb, you can walk around with like a beer or something like that, and it wouldn't be an issue. Just no glass. Hotel refrigerators. So in most hotels, they actually won't have a usable refrigerator for you. They will have a refrigerator that are filled with items that can be sold. And basically, if you move any of these items, they'll trigger a sensor and you will get charged for it. So don't try to like mess around with those, just leave them as is. If you're planning on going, definitely don't look into anything perishable and just make use of your ice bucket the best you can, but don't refrigerate anything basically. And my last tip is do things during the day. I know you might be hungover from the night before, but there's actually so many things that Vegas offers during the day, such as day parties, tourist attractions, gambling, and there are also a lot of attractions off of the strip. So I recommend if you have a car, check out Fremont Street, the Hoover Dam, and all other sorts of attractions. The world's your oyster. Take advantage of that. Don't blow your vacation just sleeping the entire day and only enjoying the 4 hours you're out during the night. But that's pretty much all the tips I have for you. Let me know if you learned something new. Drop a like, a comment, subscribe a little bit, and I'll see your beautiful faces again soon. Catch ya. Peace.